From the heart of Wayne County, this is Wayne Goldsboro Television, Goldsboro, North Carolina. Today is Friday. It's the end of the work week for many. The 28th of October, 2016, the last Friday of the month. How about that? And this is Wayne Goldsboro Television. I'm Wayne Alley.
And I'm Pat Garner.
I hope everybody's doing well today. Getting ready to crank up for the weekend. Woohoo! Come on. Woohoo!
Sure.
Yeah. Woohoo!
No, I don't think so.
No hoo-hoo. Okay. All right. All this hoo-hoo is right here on Channel 10, Time Warner Cable, and on AT&T UVerse, Channel 99. We thank you for being with us. This program airs every morning at 7 a.m. and then again at noon and then again at 5:30 p.m. And then we'll show sometime over the weekend. Glad you're with us this morning as we close out the week for many. Special guests today. We're really excited about this. Two really special guests. We have the Secretary of the Department of Health and Human Services from Raleigh, Mr. Rick Brajer, is going to be with us. We also will have our brand new Travel and Tourism Director, Ashlin Glatthar. I'm sorry, it's Glatthar. And she'll be with us too. So we have a great program lined up for you today. And I do believe that we'll be talking also to Sergeant Paige Leonard of Crime Stoppers here toward the end of the program. So stick around, got a lot going on here. All right, what's going on?
What's going on?
I'll ask you first. What's going on?
Wayne County Solid Waste Department will be holding a emergency household hazardous waste event.
Very good.
In light of Hurricane Matthew. The event is for private citizens of Wayne County and will run like their summer program that they normally hold.
And if you remember that summer program, that's exactly what it's going to be. I don't remember it myself. Do you remember it? I don't remember it either.
It will be held Saturday, November the 5th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. At the Wayne County Landfill, which is located at 460B South Landfill Road.
Right next to 460A.
And for more information, you can contact Jeff Sparrow at 919-689-2994, extension 310.
Keep your eye on the sparrow. What was that show? Theme song. What was that show? Keep your eye on the sparrow. That was Beretta. Beretta. You ever heard of Beretta? It's a TV show about a cop. Oh, okay. All right. The guy that starred in that show was also a child star. For a while, his name was Mickey Gubitosi, and he was one of the Little Rascals years ago, in later years, the Little Rascals. But then as he got older, he went on into movies and starred as the Red Ryder's sidekick. Yeah, Red Ryder's sidekick. He was Little Beaver for Red Ryder. And then he grew up and became Beretta with a bird. Had a big old bird on his shoulder. A big white, I forget what you call him. Anyway, bird. Anyway, enough of that. What else we got going on? Aha. May I?
Sure.
Thank you. We've got the Wayne County Veterans and Patriots Coalition's schedule for the month of November for veterans organizations meetings around the Wayne County area. Coming up on the 3rd of the month, Wreaths Across America will be having their fundraiser Spirit Night. That's from 5 until 8 p.m. at Zaxby's on November 3rd. That's next week, November 3rd. Wreaths Across America fundraiser, 5 till 8 p.m. at Zaxby's. Well, I had a thought and it went in here and it just zipped right out of there real quick and I forgot what it was. Anyway, that same day, November 3rd, the Marine Corps League will be meeting at 7 o'clock at the American Legion Hut. The Marine Corps League meeting at 2973 U.S. Highway 117 South, the American Legion Hut just immediately south of the fairgrounds on 117. That's November 3rd, 7 p.m. Be there. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Hey, okay. Got a rootin' tootin' Halloween event A Halloween event coming up on the 29th, which is tomorrow. From 4 until 7 p.m. at the Charles B. Aycock Birthplace, 4 till 7 p.m. Activities will include candle making, corn husk doll making, pumpkin painting, a hayride, trunk or treat starting at 5 o'clock, a costume contest starting at 5 o'clock, and hot dogs and drinks also available. It's going to be a big thing. And if you've never been to the Charles B. Aycock Birthplace, it's about halfway between Pikeville and Fremont on Highway 117 North. You cross the hill and hang a right if you're going that way, and if you're coming back the other way, before you get to the hill, you hang a left. Does that make sense? Okay. Anyway, that's where it is. And there's a lot going on. All proceeds will benefit the Aycock Birthplace. And if you're interested in helping, then you can call 919-242-5581 and talk to Erica. I love this place. This is an old farm from the setting. The setting is the late 1800s, early 1900s. And it's just a great place out there. Yeah, great place, especially in the summertime, because they got some big shade trees out there. What else we got? We got the Arts Council of Wayne County having their holiday art market. That will be opening on November 4th next week, Friday next week, from 5 till 8 p.m. in conjunction with the first Friday festivities of the Arts Council of Wayne County at 102 North John Street in Goldsboro. Sponsored by Scott Construction Company, the holiday art market features beautiful, original works of art. Anything from $2 and up to as much as you want to spend. They got some really inexpensive things in there, and they've got some really expensive things in there. But these are all unique works of art. They are. If you have someone who has everything, really hard to buy for, this is where you should go. 102 North John Street in Goldsboro, the holiday art market at the Arts Council of Wayne County. Well, let's see what else we have here. What else have we here?
What have you got?
I got a bunch of stuff here. You know, today's Friday.
It is. Don't forget, Tuesday is the Board of Commissioners meeting starting at 8 o'clock.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the agenda meeting starts at 8. The regular meeting starts at 9.
That's correct.
I'd love to have you here. The public's always invited to the Board of Commissioners meetings. And as Pat said, they start at 8. The regular meeting starts at 9. And if you happen to not be able to be here, we also stream this live on Ustream. You can go to our WayneGov.com site, WayneGov.com, and on the left side there'll be a link directly to it. You can watch it online, right?
Yes.
Right. All right. Okay. What else do we have? Dude, you got a big weekend planned? Huh?
Are you going to start singing?
No, I don't sing. Was I singing? I didn't realize that.
I do not have a big weekend.
Oh, okay.
It's Halloween weekend.
It's Halloween weekend, yes. Goldsboro Wayne Transportation next week, now November 7th through the 12th. November 7th through 12th will offer free bus rides honoring all veterans and active duty military. All you have to do is, as you are boarding, prior to boarding any of the GWTA, Goldsboro Wayne Transportation Authority rides, you show your military ID or your DD-214, and then that'll get you on the bus, and you can ride from November 7th to November 12th without getting off. Okay, maybe you'll have to get off sometime. You know, got to eat and go to the bathroom. Anyway, thanks to Fred Fontana for setting all that up. That's a great thing for our military. It is that. Appreciate that. Let's see what else we have here. Ah, yes. Ah, yes. Ah, yes. Let's do this. We will break here.
Break?
We will go to our...
Are you going to break dance?
No, I'm not going to break dance. I don't yodel, and I don't sing. We're going to break now. We're going to go to our first interview, and we'll be back on Wayne Goldsboro Television. Special guest in the studio with us today. We're very honored to have Secretary Rick Brajer, who is the Secretary of the Department of Health and Human Services. Sir.
Thank you so much, Wayne.
Appreciate you coming in.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here.
First of all, Mr. Secretary, people think of Raleigh, of course, the capital city, and they think of government, and
Right.
Government is always big and it's enormous, and they don't really know what goes on there.
Sure.
Give me an idea, if you would, in simple terms that even I might understand, what the Department of Health and Human Services is. I mean, I know it's an enormous department. It's one of the
Right.
biggest in the state, if not the biggest.
It is. So during the storm, there was a medical support center, that was set up here in Goldsboro. It was DHHS, our employees, who set up that support center. When there was a shelter being set up in Lenoir County and operated before the Red Cross came in, it was social services in combination with our social services department. Down the road is Cherry Hospital that really it's a state psychiatric hospital that takes care of folks with really the most significant of needs that we have in the state. That's DHHS. Caswell Center is just down the road, where we're taking care of folks with intellectual and other developmental disabilities combined with important either medical needs or behavioral health needs. That's DHHS. Right now we're in the process of allowing people to sign up for disaster food stamps in the counties that were most affected. Getting those disaster food stamps approved by the federal government is DHHS. So that gives you a sense of who we are and how we fit in.
Wow, you affect a lot of people.
We really do. Just thinking about the Medicaid program alone, it's 1 out of every 5 North Carolinians. So that program alone touches 2 million people in the state of North Carolina.
Wow. You mentioned Cherry Hospital. We're very proud of our new hospital.
For good reason.
Oh man, it's a beauty.
You know what? It's beautiful from the outside as a building, but you know what's really beautiful is the interaction between the caregivers, meaning the nurses and the psychiatrists, as well as the patients that are there. That's really a sight to behold, and it's being operated at really the highest of standards in the U.S.
It took a while for us to get to the point that we could open it and look at it, but now that's all behind us, and we're very happy that it's open. And many of us have gone out and toured it, and it's an absolutely beautiful place, and it's certainly doing wonderful work out there.
Really
we're very proud of Mr. Welch, Lucky Welch, and of course all the doctors and the caretakers out there doing a wonderful job. What brings you to the eastern part of North Carolina?
It's really to come back to these state facilities and say thank you to all the folks who made incredible contributions during the storm. As an indication, at the Caswell Center, where we're taking care of folks with really significant intellectual and other developmental disabilities, there were 16 employees there who literally lost everything. They lost homes, they lost cars, but they showed up to work and worked 12-hour shifts and stayed at Caswell because of their commitment to people. So I came there to thank them, to hear their stories and to thank them. Here at Cherry Hospital today, the same sorts of stories happening at Cherry Hospital. And oftentimes, as you might imagine, the employees that took the brunt of the storm are among our lowest paid state employees. And to see that the level of commitment that they showed, it's something that not only we as a department are here to thank them for, but Governor McCrory asked me to come and personally thank them on his behalf.
You have been secretary since last August, I believe. Is that correct?
Correct.
What is your background? I've read your bio, and it's very interesting. You're very active with Habitat for Humanity.
I am.
That's one of our favorite organizations here.
Absolutely.
And in Wake County, I believe you were the chairman.
I was the chairman of the board.
Right.
There. I've been in healthcare my entire career, but what motivated the change a year ago is that I've been thinking about public service for the last couple of years. I'm a first-generation American. My parents emigrated from Yugoslavia. And really, I've been thinking for several years, what's a way of saying thank you to a country that made a home for my parents? Our family's been blessed incredibly by the freedoms and opportunities in this country. And so, but I never had the privilege of serving in the armed forces, as so many people do in eastern North Carolina. And so it was a way of saying thank you and giving back. So it was a way of building on the leadership experiences that I've had in my career in healthcare. But ultimately it was the governor, and I really believed in Governor McCrory's vision for results-oriented and citizen-centered government, and therefore saying thank you to the country.
What do you see for the future of eastern North Carolina? We have historically had been somewhat, if you want to say, behind in the economy, the economic environment of the region has been a bit behind the Piedmont, the mountain area, in fact. But what do you see here that would be built upon in the near future for eastern North Carolina in healthcare?
I believe it's already been announced. The governor has set up a essentially, I forget the name of the committee, but it's essentially a large task force of private and public sector folks coming together to really work on the restoration of Eastern North Carolina, not just from a housing standpoint and from a facility standpoint, but from a jobs and education standpoint. And so Governor McCrory has already put that in place. I know that Secretary Scrivala, who heads up the Department of Commerce, has been working actively on bringing jobs to Eastern North Carolina. My area of responsibility is to say, hey, listen, how can we address the health disparities in Eastern North Carolina relative to the rest of the state? Exactly. So what do I mean by that? For example, in the area of infant mortality, there are counties in Eastern North Carolina where over 1 out of every 100 children die in their first year of life as a result of both factors that are in control of the parent, but many of them are out of control of the parent. You know, we're investing in workforce development from a healthcare standpoint, meaning that there are 20 counties in the state of North Carolina that don't even have one OBGYN.
Oh my.
We've got 20 counties that don't even have one psychiatrist. And so there are just really big gaps in terms of primary care, general surgeons, OBGYNs, and state psychiatrists. So what we're working on right now is a way of funding, if you will, graduate medical education, so that we're producing, if you will, doctors who will commit to living and staying in rural areas of North Carolina. Now that's important not only from a healthcare standpoint, but from an economic development standpoint, because there's an economic multiplier, meaning money multiplier. When you bring a doctor in, generally the value that comes to the community is like 1.3 or 1.4 times the value of what that doctor brings in. So whether it's addressing health, whether it's investing in economic development, Governor McCrory is strongly committed to these types of initiatives, and our role as a department is to really follow through on those.
You mentioned doctors coming in. Are we seeking doctors? Are we seeking new personnel?
A good example is Cherry Hospital.
Mm-hmm.
So as part of Cherry Hospital, we will increase capacity by 116 beds, meaning 116 more patients. Well, there are roughly 3 employees that are hired for every bed if you think it on a facility-wide basis.
Right.
So we're going to be hiring more psychiatrists, more nurses, more technicians, more folks who cook food, more people who clean, the building, et cetera. So we're looking in total of adding about another 373 jobs just in Cherry Hospital alone. So yes, we are committed towards building, investing in Eastern North Carolina.
Wow, that is wonderful. So would you care to venture 20 years from now? Where do we stand then, or is that too far out? Don't let me put you on the spot here.
Exactly. Honestly, what they put me in charge of is to say, hey, listen, how do we improve? How do we work on overall health improvement?
Right.
And I can tell you that what I'm committed to is making sure that health in the eastern part of North Carolina is as strong as our largest urban centers, not 20 years out, but 10 years out and hopefully earlier than that. And if we invest in what's called workforce development, if we invest in what are called social determinants of health, food, transportation, education, and if we continue to educate folks and invest in them, we really can address that. And infant mortality is a great place to start.
Well, what about challenges? There has to be challenges.
So what are the challenges? One is that everybody's focused on an insurance card, right?
Yeah.
So you'll hear people talking about Medicaid expansion as a way of giving people access to insurance. But in fact, in Eastern North Carolina, if you don't have the doctors in place, if you don't have, and if you don't have these social determinants in place, you can't make progress. So the challenges are the things that people are not focused on. So for example, in Eastern North Carolina, these rural areas where we produce all this food, counterintuitively, we have our greatest food scarcity in rural areas of North Carolina. And when you don't have access to high quality food, that impacts people's health. We have the highest obesity rates. That's a real challenge. So educating people, engaging the faith community, engaging people individually around the right practices, around, just putting on a pair of tennis shoes and taking a deep breath and walking outside, just walk around the block.
Yeah.
So it's changing, supporting positive behavior change would be an example of really a challenge, but a good one. So we're up for the challenge. The governor, as you know, you've seen him during this storm recovery.
He was here.
He's got a can-do spirit all the way around, and that spirit really infiltrates in the teams that he leads.
Secretary Rick Brajer is the Secretary of the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services. And sir, we appreciate you coming in.
Thank you so much, Wayne.
We're back on Wayne Goldsboro Television on this Friday morning. Well, it depends on when you're watching. If it's noon, then it's Friday afternoon. If it's 5:30, it's almost evening. So good evening. This is Wayne Goldsboro Television. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Covered all the bases. Speaking of bases, the Red Cross is having blood drives. November 2nd, next week, 9 until 1:30 at Wayne Community College. Also on the 8th, 1:30 until 6 at the Red Cross office at North George Street, 600 North George. Also in Mount Olive on the 8th, from 10:30 in the morning until 3 at the Pope Wellness Center at University of Mount Olive. What's that?
Medicaid Part D open enrollment period is started October 15th and will end on December the 7th. The SHIP counselors are available at the Senior Center on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. From 9 a.m. to 12 noon at the Peggy M. Sears Senior Center.
That's right. That's Elisa Barker out there.
Yes.
Boy, does she do a good job. She knows her stuff. She recently received a big award, a statewide award, for the work that she's doing as a SHIP counselor. Doing a great job. Communities in schools. What is that? Right there. Tell me what that is. What is that?
The annual community partner meeting will be held at the Goldsboro Event Center Thursday, November the 3rd, starting at 9 a.m. with coffee and danishes, and the annual meeting will begin at 9:30.
So if you're Danish, welcome to Wayne County and have a good time. What is that? November 3rd.
November 3rd.
At the
Goldsboro Event Center.
That's what I was going to say. Goldsboro Event Center. And the Red Cross has opened a volunteer intake center. It's open now 9 to 5, and that's at 600 North George Street. And if you'd like to volunteer for that, help keep things organized, distributing cleaning supplies to residents and people who need help, including warehousing. You can be in warehousing. You need to be able to lift 25 pounds. You'll be helping clients secure services as well. So you can go to redcross.org/volunteer and complete the volunteer application. All right? All righty. Now, let's see here. What's today? What is special about today?
Can I answer that?
Yeah, go ahead. Okay.
Wayne Alley.
No.
What is special, Wayne?
What is special, Wayne? Today is St. Jude's Day. St. Jude's Day. It's also National Chocolate Day.
That's right up your alley.
That's right up my Wayne alley. Also, today is National Breadsticks Day. That's right up your alley.
That's
You
lunch
like breadsticks.
today.
That's lunch, is it? National Bandana Day. Oh, I left my bandana home. Bandana. It's also Champagne Day. You know who Lawrence Welk is? Okay. Lawrence Welk used to do that. And he would open his show. He was the Champagne King or something. You know. And then they'll all do the polka.
Would you like to show us how to do that?
No. You can tick. Anyway, that was a polka. And but he's passed away now. And okay. And today is also,
That's it.
is that it?
That's it.
That's it. Tomorrow is Internet Day. I don't know why. Has to be a reason for it, though. Tomorrow's also National Cat Day. Meow to you, too. Psoriasis Day. World Psoriasis Day. National Forgiveness Day. It's okay, Pat. I forgive you.
Call me on Saturday and ask me.
Okay, that's Saturday. All right, let's see. Our trivia question for today. Category for the trivia question for today is volcanoes. It's almost like Lawrence Welk, isn't it?
Yeah.
Volcanoes. The volcano Olympus Mons is 16 miles high. Where is it? It's a volcano, and it's quite active, and it's 16 miles high. Where is Olympus Mons? That's our question. Have the answer for you in the next segment of the program, and we'll be back after our next interview on Wayne Goldsboro Television. Today we welcome Ashlin Glatthar to the studio. Is that right?
Yes.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm glad you're here. And I'm glad you're here because we get to introduce you to everyone. Now, you've already been in your new position for a while now, right?
About a couple weeks.
You are the new director of the Goldsboro Wayne Travel and Tourism Office.
Yes, I am.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
So tell us about Ashlin.
About Ashlin.
Yeah, give me where you're from.
Okay, so I call home Hayesville, North Carolina.
Hayesville.
It's in Clay County in the very most western part of the state. It hugs Tennessee, Georgia, and North Carolina.
That's about as far west as you can go.
Yes, I went to high school there, and that's where I met my husband. And I went to college at UNC Greensboro.
Did you?
Yes.
Corner of Aycock and Spring Garden.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And I majored in anthropology and Spanish.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
Anthropology and Spanish.
Yeah. So I had just a curiosity for cultures, archaeology, language, and from there I moved out to Colorado, and that's where my husband and I lived after we first got married, and he's in the service, and we've lived in Texas. And we were fortunate enough to come back to North Carolina about 3 years ago.
Great.
So in the meantime, I worked for hotels and sales and marketing.
Right.
And that's kind of what led me to get to know Goldsboro so well, is working in the hospitality industry. I worked with Betsy Roseman, the former travel and tourism director.
Right.
And she took me under her wing, and I learned so much from her about what Goldsboro has to offer, which in return helped me do my job better when visitors and tourists came to stay at the hotels. And that was just part of my role in understanding what Goldsboro has to offer.
I'm sure Betsy would be very happy that you landed this position.
So.
Because we all love Betsy, and we miss Betsy very much. She passed away last year, of course, unexpectedly. So glad you're doing this. Now tell me about the travel and tourism. Do we really need, because I've heard this many times, what are we doing with a travel and tourism office? Do people actually tour Goldsboro, Wayne County?
Yes, people do come to Goldsboro for various reasons, but whether it's to visit Seymour Johnson Air Force Base and take tours of the flight line of the F-15s and the refueler wings, whether they're coming in just to visit family, but they want to understand the history of Seymour Johnson and the 4th Fighter Wing, as well as our Civil War history, as well as our famous barbecue restaurants.
Now you're talking.
So we do have quite a bit to offer, and travel and tourism is just a segment of economic development for any sort of city or county. So that would be my role, is to promote travel and tourism, but in return enhance the quality of life for residents, as well as bring in more people to Goldsboro to enjoy what we have to offer, and then potentially move here to help also contribute to our economic development.
I would have to say that there's a lot more travel and tourism than people realize here.
Yes.
A lot more. And Seymour Johnson's certainly a big draw. But so are so many other things as well. There's of course, there's family reunions here, and some of these families are enormous, and they fill up hotels.
It's very true, yeah.
They do, and not only that, but we have a small convention or two come to town once in a while. Of course, we've got a new big ag convention center that's underway.
Yes,
that we're all excited about.
That's kind of part of my initiative as well, is to promote the Ag Center, as well as start promoting the new multi-sports complex. That's the joint P4 initiative between our municipal government and the base.
Exactly.
And that will definitely help our younger kids get excited about sports, get them more active, as well as get them exposed to military life and maybe get them excited to possibly join the armed forces. So it's kind of
Wouldn't that be
a
great?
great, like a recruitment tool plus
yeah.
a way to stay active and possibly gain a scholarship to an institution one day. So there's a lot of opportunities that it's going to offer, not just the return of investment for the city, but it's also for our constituents as well.
And you're always promoting Goldsboro and Wayne County. So to whom do you promote? Well, how do you do this? How do you sell Wayne County?
How do I sell Wayne County?
I ask you first.
Well, that's a good question. Right now we do have quite a bit of festivals, like for instance Beak Week, which just happened last month.
Yeah.
And as much as we want it to be a draw for our visitors, since it's still a developing and growing festival, right now we are focused on getting our local residents excited about it, and then telling their friends and family, their warm markets about it to bring them here. And we have been doing more to cast the net wider to bring in the Wilmington area and the Raleigh area. And so year over year we're learning as we go, and we already are working on more ideas to develop promotional videos and to get commercials going for it, or even just a YouTube channel for it. And then we've got our air show coming up. So, which is a hit with our local community.
Yes, it is.
But it has a huge draw across all of the military installations in eastern North Carolina, as well up to Virginia and down to South Carolina.
I've seen people come from Japan and Germany and Europe and of course Asia and from around the world to our Air Force Base to see the air show. But we have the Pickle Festival, we have the Chili Challenge, and all these
Taste of Wayne.
Taste. All these things are big draws here in Wayne County and becoming bigger. Now, of course, the Pickle Festival has grown very much since it began some years ago and continues to grow, drawing people in from everywhere. But and of course, the Air Force Base. We love Seymour Johnson Air Force Base. There's nothing else like it in the world. It's the best.
So my job is to create excitement for people who live here. I think one of the things I was taken back by, maybe because I come from a small mountain town, is when I got here, people said, what is there to do in Goldsboro? Or they go jump to, is there anything to do in Goldsboro? So my job is to make the information of what we have to offer more accessible, more out there, up front, and easier to find. So that they have the tools and resources to know where to take their kids for parks, to know where to take their kids and to get excited for festivals coming up. And also for me to lend my ear out there for what would you want in Goldsboro to do. And then it's not reinventing the wheel, but seeing what maybe Raleigh has to offer, why people go to Raleigh to have fun, and maybe try to emulate some of those offerings here, right here in Goldsboro.
I would suggest, Ashlin, that anyone who says there's nothing to do in Wayne County or in Goldsboro, they're not looking. They don't look to see what's here. It's just the idea that we don't have anything, but we do.
Yes, we do.
You don't have to go to Raleigh.
The amount that the DGDC does, the Arts Council, Parks and Rec, and in our offices, it's baffling. Like, if you can't find what you want to do here, then that's surprising. Like I said, I come from a town where you have a lake and you've got mountains and woods, and that's fun. You can go hiking, you can really get that play outdoors. But for Goldsboro, we can bring in attractions all day long, but my job is just to get more information out there, more easily accessible too.
There is plenty to do in Goldsboro and Wayne County. Plenty to do, and it's the job of Ashlin Glatthar.
Yes, Glatthar.
Glatthar to see that everyone understands and knows what we do here, and it's also her job to bring in people from elsewhere as well.
Yes, get them to invest in our own community as well. And
so if you're in Saskatchewan right now watching this program, we want you to boogie on down here to Goldsboro.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yes.
Buy your flight in RDU and
That's
come
it.
see us.
That's right. Or better yet, come on into Goldsboro Wayne Airport out here. Right?
There you go, the Wayne Executive Jetport.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly right, the Wayne Executive Jetport. Now, they're going to get me for saying that.
Oh, I know.
The Wayne Executive Jetport. Old habits are hard to break.
It's early, don't worry.
It is, it is. All right, well, our guest, Ashlin Glatthar, is our new director of the Travel and Tourism of Goldsboro and Wayne County, and I appreciate you coming in. It's great to meet you. Looking for great things.
Much. Yes,
Thank you,
I
Ashley.
appreciate it.
Today, Sergeant Paige Leonard of Crime Stoppers joins us, and how are you doing?
Doing great. Thank you for asking.
Thanks for being here. Now, we're here to talk about Crime Stoppers and the crime of the week. We're getting the bad guys off the street with your help.
Yep.
What's going on?
Well, we are here to talk about a robbery that happened at Burger King.
Burger King.
Burger King on the 21st.
Which Burger King
and
is
this is going to be the one at 1901 North Berkeley.
Really?
So-
Now that's out on New Hope Road, isn't
Right,
it?
right.
Okay.
Yep, just like at New Hope and North Berkeley Boulevard.
New Hope and North Berkeley. Wow.
Yeah, apparently on the October 21st at about 10:30 p.m., the employees said that a black male came into the store with a handgun, demanded money, pointed the handgun at them, and when they gave him the currency, he fled on foot. So we are definitely looking to hear something, anything about this individual, and you know, we learn so many times they brag a lot of times.
Yes.
And eventually somebody talks. So we're hoping somebody knows something, heard something. That's a busy intersection, so 10:30 on the 21st, you know, there's a good likelihood that somebody saw something.
October 21st. That was a Friday, wasn't it?
That is
I believe it was a Friday night.
a Friday night.
So people are busy.
Right.
People are out milling around at 10:30 at night.
Right.
And that is a busy area.
And this black male was described as wearing a black hat and a black hoodie, a white shirt, being about 5'5", 140 pounds. So this is kind of a little guy,
Short guy.
Yeah.
5'5".
slender. So hopefully somebody out there knows something, and if so, we'd like them to give us a call.
Okay. Friday night, October 21st, about 10:30 at night, near the intersection of New Hope Road and Berkeley Boulevard. Fellow wearing a hoodie and a hat and a white shirt, and 5'5",
Yeah.
140 pounds. It's small.
Could
small
have been
guy.
the one they saw running from the area of
Ru-
Burger King.
He was probably running.
right.
If you saw someone running, a direction would help.
Right.
Because if you see someone running in a particular direction, somebody else may have seen a person running and getting into a vehicle.
Absolutely.
And that starts to narrow things down.
Sometimes people will just call and give us a little bit of information and think that it has nothing to do with it. It might actually be what we're waiting to hear or what we need. So no matter how small they may think it is, we still want them to call.
Could tie those loose ends up.
Right.
Now, was there a weapon implied or suggested or
There
seen?
was a gun.
There was a gun.
He had a handgun.
He had a handgun.
And I like to remind people, you know, it could have been your sister and they're working, or your mom and they're working, or your brother. So, you know, we always remind people to step up. You know, if you see something, speak up.
So what do you do in a case like that? If you're working in a place, or if you're a customer somewhere and somebody walks in with a weapon and says, "Give me all your money," what do you do?
Usually, you know, what I like to try to tell people is just give them the money. Don't try to keep it. You know, you think about the employees, it's not their money, so don't worry about it. You know, if you try to hold on to it or you try to bicker with the suspect, a lot of times that'll get you hurt. So the easiest thing to do is give them what they're there for, and more than likely they'll just take it and run, like in this case.
Would you say that oftentimes it matters not whether this is an experienced thief, robber, or not? Maybe an inexperienced person. They are all hyped up and they're full of whatever energy or something, and they're not thinking about
Safety,
They're thinking
Right.
about getting the money and getting out as quickly as they can.
especially if they've got a weapon. You know,
Yeah.
they're usually focused on what they want. You know, so the best thing to do is just give it to them, and you know, kind of the history shows with cases, if you just give them what they're asking for, they'll leave. But there's no sense in fighting for it or trying to hold on to the money, or
Somebody could get hurt.
yeah, not cooperating. The odds are if you just give them that, they'll leave.
Okay, the numbers to call, scrolling across the bottom of your screen there, 919-735-2255, or text 919-222-4230, or go to Tipsoft.
Ah, very good.
Thank you.
There you go.
Tipsoft, and that's on your website.
Right, it's on any internet site. If they just type in tips off, they can get to it, and they'll scroll down and pull up the county that they want to provide the tip to. But all you have to do is go on the Goldsboro Police Department Facebook page and click on the link to it. It's right on the right side. It just says text tips. You'll just see a simple link. And they can go there. And they don't have to be friends with our page.
Anybody can get to it.
I find myself having to to say that often because people just assume you have to be on a friends list. There's no friends list for the police department Facebook
Even though we
page.
are friends of the Goldsboro
Right.
Police Department, we want to mention that.
We consider everybody friend. So we invite you to get on our page, see
Right.
what's going on,
Right.
and send that tip in through Tips Off also.
Excellent. Sergeant Paige Leonard with the Goldsboro Police Department and the coordinator for Crime Stoppers here in Wayne County, Goldsboro. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We're back on Wayne Goldsboro Television on this Friday. Oh boy, end of the work week for a lot of people. Hope you have big plans for the weekend. It's going to be a gorgeous weather-wise weekend. Or it's going to be a gorgeous weekend weather-wise. Okay? Around the Wayne County area, lots of sunshine, except you will not see at night. It's not something. Anyway, a gorgeous weekend, all set. A little cool. This is fall after all. It is fall after all. After all, fall. Anyway, the election is on, right?
Yes.
It is on, up and running, and there's been a line every day at the Board of Elections office in Goldsboro. Since yesterday, they opened 5 more polling places. You can vote at 5 more places: Goldsboro Worship Center, Little River Shopping Center, New Hope Friends Church, Mount Olive Train Depot, and Fremont Town Hall. They are all open now. Now, the Board of Elections office, you can also vote there. Now, that office opens 8 o'clock in the morning until 5 in the afternoon during weekdays. Tomorrow, Saturday, Board of Elections office is open from 9 a.m. until 2 p.m. The voting polling places I just mentioned: Goldsboro Worship Center, Little River Shopping Center, New Hope Friends Church, Mount Olive Train Depot, and Fremont Town Hall will also be open tomorrow from 9 until 2. These same places will be open if you can't make it Monday through Friday or even on Saturday. You can go on Sunday and vote. They're open from 12 till 4 on Sunday. All votes are counted. All votes are counted, even provisional votes that turn out to be good. Those are provisional votes, or votes that there's a question about, maybe the registration was incorrect, or the voter has moved, or there's just some kind of question about the vote. And once they verify it and make sure everything is good, then that vote will count. You know, I think we're out of time. Trivia question. The answer to today's trivia question. The question was, the volcano was the category. The question was, there's a volcano that's active. It's named Olympus Mons, M-O-N-S. It's 16 miles high. Where is Olympus Mons?
Where's it at?
Well, when you stop and think about it, 16 miles tells you something right there, because you know it's not on Earth, because the highest mountain on Earth above sea level, and that's important, above sea level is Mount Everest, which is only around and round kind of sort of numbers, almost 6 miles high. 16-mile high volcano is really a monster, and it is on the planet Mars. That's where Olympus Mons is, and it is doing a good job with little Martians. All right? Well, that's going to wrap it up for the week. Hope you enjoy the weekend. Get out and do something, because the weather's going to be fantastic. We'll be back Monday at whatever time this is right now. Well, actually, Monday at whatever time this is right now, we'll be ending the program. So you have to start earlier than that. Anyway, we'll be back Monday, and until then, I'm Wayne Alley.
And I'm Pat Garner.
And this is Wayne Goldsboro Television.